where your children are?
My mom used to say that all the time. I don't know if she still says that anymore because I don't think she cares where her children are.
Looks like you're on. Hey, I think we're here.
We're here. I don't know if I'm here, but I'm here.
She's kind of here, people, so bear with her.
Yeah, it's been a
I
week.
haven't gotten it on the...
It's been a long week. You always are behind. Let me see if I'm on.
Yeah.
I think,
there
yep,
it is.
there I am. I think you're in another time zone.
There's Charlie.
Yeah, there you go.
Good morning.
Hi, people. Good morning, Charlie. You're number one.
Charlie is always
Charlie is
like bright and
number
early.
one.
And Diana McCrae and Cheryl and Shelly, they're always like
I
right
think
on.
Everybody's sleeping today. We got
They,
Charlie.
they
Charlie.
care about me.
It's you and the girls today.
It's
Charlie.
just us, Charlie.
Maybe they all went to the racetrack today.
Oh, no, Marilyn's here.
Did you lock the door? Thank you. I don't want to deal with people from my husband anymore. So we're locking them out.
Lock them out.
They can wait for an hour. They don't need me.
Nope.
There I am, as loud as can be.
Charlie, I'm sitting here waiting at 10:54, waiting. Refresh. There you are. Here's Ginny.
Is
Hi,
anybody
Ginny.
here besides Charlie? We
Ginny,
have-
your package is on its way.
Yes. Your package was the first one out the door, Jenny. Don't worry. I had
Morning,
my
Connie,
brayer
Judy.
engraved in my name.
Okay.
All right. Well, we have lots of stuff to show you today, and we're going to talk about wax canvas today. But first, do you guys want to go out there with me and see something
Yes.
really, really pretty?
Oh, let's go.
Okay, so before I take you out there, and then we'll come back in and we'll talk about all of our stuff. I'm just so excited to show you guys. Our Wi-Fi is hit or miss the further out that I get into the shop. So if you are watching this and you hear me like break up a little bit, or if you get like a glitch, it's just because of our Wi-Fi. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, which is why I can't do the Facebook Live from out there. But I want to show you my video room, and if it doesn't work really well, don't worry about it. It's not you, it's on our end, and I'll put pictures up later. So I'm just going to take the whole tripod with me because
It's a
it'll
field
just
trip.
be easier. Are you all coming?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're on a field trip.
Do you want to do the open the door and turn the lights on?
There you
All right,
go.
so we're going to
Yeah.
follow Marlene out.
There you
All right,
go.
we're going to follow Marlene. All right, here we go. So I'm taking the whole thing with me. It's just easier. All right. So you
And
guys,
away we go. Let's
you guys
go.
have never seen the shop before. Here you go. Are you ready for this? Like, look at this. This is what I work next to. And yes, that mean sign was put up by me. This is the shop.
This is the, I think we've got somebody.
Oh,
Mucho Guapo's on the phone.
Mucho Guapo not working.
Mucho Guapo
Hello.
on the phone. Hello. Mucho Guapo.
Say hi.
We love him.
You're on Facebook.
Oh, really?
Really? Oh. Oh.
They won't be watching.
They already stopped watching because they're so distracted by you.
ready?
So here, this is where I cut my cork. This is the shop. So yeah, it's dirty and it does not look like a lady place. But ready? Do it, Marlene.
Okay, let's go. Lights are on. Enter.
Enter.
Come on in.
Oh, here it is.
It's so pretty.
So there's all my lights. I think we're still okay. I haven't seen any
Your
glitches.
ironing table came.
Oh yeah.
My
yeah,
ironing table
that was
came.
Great.
Awesome.
So you guys, look at this. I hope you can hear me. Look at this ironing station.
I love it.
That top is as tall as I am. I took a picture and it comes to the top of my head. And I got the full ironing station, and there's my little ironing board. These are all from Tracy from TNT Quilt Boards. So I went with the big one. And look at these. Aren't they cool? I got them on Amazon.
Look at it. The prints are great.
They're the, what do you call them? The patents. Scissors, sewing needles, thread. I got them on Amazon.
You find things.
Wow.
I know. TNT is awesome. You are absolutely correct,
Wow.
Katie. And so there's my floor. It's nice and squishy. And my fake plants
I like
that
how
cover
it looks.
everything. Oh, oops, there's a swear word over there. Do you, here, don't tell anybody. Okay. So this is where I'm going to film. This is my table. My husband said, "You have a marble table?" And I said, "No, it's stick-on marble." And right there, this is our overhead camera, and then I have my other camera right there and all my lights. And my husband did all of those fancy lights for me, and I even have an air conditioner.
And we even have a sign that says,
My friend Pat bought me that sign, and I love it. And you are all welcome to use that and breathe it in. All right, so we're gonna go back in. I hope that this was clear for everybody. These are all of my signs. I like signs. So you saw my other sign. And there's my little shelf. There, that was me on my wedding day, just in case you wanted to know. And that's my sister. She's now 22. So there's our forklift.
This is how we travel around.
This is our travel car. No.
If you see this coming, we'll be there.
And Alonzo ran away. He doesn't want to hang out with us anymore. All right. So here we go. And this is why everybody gets confused when they walk in here, because this is what you see first, and then you see an automotive shop. So, and you guys just got a small glance at some of the samples for today. Can you make sure that doesn't need to be moved?
Yeah.
All right. Tucking my lady business there. Okay.
Perfect.
We're back.
We're back.
So I hope that was clear. And if it was not, I'm sorry. The Wi-Fi, I tried starting out there because I wanted to like start in that room, and it didn't work. But when I started here and went out, it was better. I don't know. So that's my new room. And should I tell them what happened this week? Very soon, very, very soon, I will be able to hang out there a lot more because I started training my replacement yesterday. So I'm so happy. I will not have to work for my husband much longer, I hope. I love him dearly, but I don't want to answer the phone and be distracted anymore. I want to be out there making pretty things and making videos. And I've been hanging out there like all week, and it's very hard to come back in here after that because I just want to be in that room. It's so pretty. So thank you to everybody that helped me get that together. And I'm so glad you guys, I forgot about the ironing board. You guys didn't get to see that.
No, it wasn't here
So
last week. I knew it was coming.
I
but-
told you guys about Tracy before, and TNT Quilt Boards, Tracy and Tim, that's TNT. They're based out of Massachusetts. They're an awesome couple. Tim makes them. Tracy picks out the fabrics, and they have like this collaboration, this great husband and wife, duo. They make all the boards, and Tracy listens. Like if you have an idea, like she's the reason that the clappers have like a little bit of more of a point to them. She just, they're sweet, sweet people. And I said to her, I'm getting a board, and hopefully it'll be here before the video, but I'm not asking. But it's in, and so now I have a nice big pressing surface. So I will tag them again when I upload this later if you are interested. If you've missed it, I have tagged them before. So that's that. So
Charlie says you make things. What kind of things do you make? Charlie, you're a smart aleck.
here and there a bag or so.
Just a
Not
few
no
here and
big
there.
deal. So okay, so
Maybe
that
a
was
wallet.
my little surprise for the morning. We are going to talk about wax canvas. I have a whole list of notes, so hopefully I don't forget anything. But as always, as soon as the video is over, I will remember something I wanted to tell you, and then I'll have to tell you that later. So if you are just tuning in, if you are new here, if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe and you can click the notification bell. If you're new on Facebook, make sure you like and follow the page. Facebook is weird sometimes with their notifications, which is also why I ask you just one more time, please don't message me on Facebook because sometimes they just literally disappear and I cannot find them. If you need anything, send me an email. And if you're watching the video right now and you have a question that doesn't pertain to the video, send us an email. It's easier than trying to answer it here or find the comment later. It happens sometimes people have a question about something that has nothing to do with the video and then we lose the comment and can't find it. So let's talk about wax canvas. You guys got like a very small sneak preview as I came back in, but I'm not going to show you the samples yet. We're going to talk about some basics. There were a couple people who had kind of chimed in and were like, what is wax canvas? I want to know about that. So I'm going to go over some of the basics of it, and then I'll tell you what we have, and then I have a pros and cons list. My cons list is very, very small though, because I really, really like this. They have not gotten to sew with it yet. So Barb and Marlene are learning along with you. So let's jump in. One thing First thing to note when you're looking at wax canvas or when you're looking at some of the different materials that are out there for bags, wax canvas and waterproof canvas are two totally different things. And I have a piece of waterproof canvas here, so it came on a roll, so it's a really big piece. This is the back side. This is not what we sell. This is waterproof canvas. So it's like vinyl on the back, and then it's the canvas on the front side. This is a different product. If you are interested, I will give you some info on that. I don't stock it, but I bought that on Amazon, and I can tell you where I got that from in just a minute. I'm trying to follow my own notes so that I don't get distracted. So what we're talking about today is wax canvas. It is literally canvas that has wax applied to it. Is it waterproof? Some people say yes, I say water repellent. I think that's a better word because once you sew it and put a hole in it, is it actually waterproof? You know what I mean? Yeah. So you can say that it's waterproof, but I just prefer water repellent. So this is what we're gonna talk about today. So my first discovery of wax canvas, and I know some of you have used it and understand it, some of you are brand new to it. I'm kind of in the middle. I've sewed with it a little bit, but I'm still learning as I go. So again, all of the things I share with you are my opinions and my findings. You might find completely and utterly different information on other people's websites of how they use it. This is just how I use it. So the first time that I saw it on like social media, probably Instagram, and people were posting really cool pictures and tagging that it was wax canvas. But to me, all I saw was like distressed leather, because that's what it looks like when it's crinkled. And I thought, well, that's really cool. I have to get some. And a friend of mine said, I order it all the time. Here, here's a website, try this out. And when I ordered it and it came in, I didn't like it. I never used it. Those two pieces are still somewhere over there. I never used it because when you get it in the mail and it's all folded like this, it's kind of hard and stiff and it feels weird. And you think, I was like, well, that doesn't look like the thing I wanted. This is not what I ordered. I don't like that. And I put it away. And it took me a little time to warm up to it. I still have not used those original pieces. I'm not actually sure where they are. I know they were over there, but that doesn't mean anything at this point.
Marlene's been around, probably.
Marlene probably threw it out. No, I have no idea where they are. But every time somebody would post something, I was falling more in love with it because it's just such a cool looking texture. And so then you guys were asking for it, and then at shows I was getting constantly asked because people would come into the booth, look at all the bag stuff, and ask if I had wax canvas. And I'd say no, and they're like, you look like the kind of place that should have it. Well, I don't though. So it was getting into my head. So I started doing some research and I found some wax canvas that I liked and some that I didn't like. And then we waited 1,700 years for it to come in, and it's finally here. And that's the story. So the waterproof canvas that I was just talking about, we're just gonna take a little side note here. The light blue, that's not on my website. It's not there, it's not going to be. Chances are it's not ever going to be. Who knows? I will never say never, but it's not. That is called OtterTex. That is, I purchased on Amazon. It comes in 32 colors. It's a canvas with a polyester backing. It does not stretch. It doesn't fray, and you don't even really have to interface it. So it's a nice lining. We do not have that. So if you go and Google waterproof canvas and order it from another site, that's what you might be getting. We only sell wax canvas. I just want to make sure that's super clear. So the wax canvas is a cotton duck cloth, like a duck canvas, and it has the wax applied to it. It's on the front and the back, so there's really not a wrong and a right side. You can use this on either side, which I think is one of the benefits because there's no front and back. With something like that, or with your regular canvases or cottons, there's obviously a front and a back. It is, like I said, water repellent. You will see it on a lot of sites where they say it's waterproof. If you spill water on this, it is just gonna bead up and come right off. But if you're, let's say you make a bag and you put your water bottle in it and your water bottle is sweating, eventually, because you've sewn holes into it, it will leak out. And I know this because I did an experiment. I sewed a little wax canvas pouch and I poured water into it. I forgot to bring it. It would have been a really cool on-camera thing. I poured water into it and the water didn't come out. And I was like, well, that's super cool. And then I left it sitting in the sink. And by the end of the day, the water slowly came out. So it's better than cotton and canvas. You're not gonna have like a wet bag but eventually it is going to come out. So that was my fun little trick, and I forgot to bring it. I'm very distracted this week.
Nancy's got a comment about waterproof canvas.
Yes.
If you hit it with an iron, it melts. Ask me how I know.
Nancy, I'm not going to ask you because I have a guess, and it's probably the same way that I've learned things like that. But yes, waterproof canvas is vinyl. It has a vinyl coating, so yes, it is going to melt. Now, the wax canvas, you really don't want to put an iron directly on it, but I have seen people do that. And it's kind of that same thing, like when I tell you you can iron cork and people are like, you're crazy, why would you do that? And they don't want to do it. I feel the same way about wax canvas. I don't want to put my iron directly on something with wax. I just imagine a disaster and a very ruined iron. But I've seen people do it. I'm not going to tell you to do it, but if you do it on your own, I take no responsibility.
Have you tried it?
No, because I'm afraid to ruin my iron.
Just curious.
But I have ironed it in other ways.
Yep.
So I would not suggest putting an iron directly on it. That is just me. You make your own choices. We'll talk more in the pros and cons about how to treat it and the ironing. What we are carrying is 10 ounce. And it's noted on the website, it's noted in the listings of each one of them. And just like, I know we talked about this a while ago, but it was probably a couple months ago, when we were talking about canvas. Canvas in general comes in ounces and it comes in numbers. This is a 10 ounce. It's not a number 10. A number 10 is more equivalent to a 15 ounce. It is super confusing. It makes no sense to me. But if you happen to be looking, I know that you shop elsewhere. It hurts my feelings tremendously, but I know that you do. So if you're, I'm kidding. If you're out there and you're like, oh, there's wax canvas, it's number 10. It's gonna be heavier than this. So just be prepared for that. So in my research, I tried a few different companies, and I feel like Goldilocks right now. I tried this one, it was 8.2 ounces, and this was too thin. This, look at this. You can see through it.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I tried this one, this is 11.5 ounces. This was too thick. It's nice weight, but it was a little bit heavier than I wanted. Because as I always say, I test everything on a domestic. I don't test things on my heavy duty machine because I know the heavy duty can handle it, and I know that not all of you have one. So this, I felt like was good, but could pose a problem for some of you in your machines. But this one was just right.
It was a perfect
It's
fit.
perfect. So this is what we carry. This is the 10 ounce. It has a nice feel. It's not flimsy. You can't see through it. And as you make a bag, it's going to get less see-through because you have layers. And we will talk about what you can and can't and might want to try with it. So just to kind of give you a reference, again, this is a 10 ounce. The cotton and steel canvas that we sell with all the florals, those are about an 8 ounce. So this is a little bit heavier than that with the wax finish, but still, I made all of these samples on my domestic, no problems. And I say all of them. I have 3 samples. Because it's been a crap week and because I waited so long for the canvas to come in, I didn't have a chance to get as much done, but that's okay. You saw what I spent my weekend doing. It was making that room pretty. So what they recommend for cleaning, because one thing you will find, and I'm sure you guys have found it from packing orders, things stick to it. Because it's not that it's sticky, but it just has enough of a sticky surface where there's a piece of dog hair on this one, there's a little bit of fuzz. Sometimes it doesn't want to come off. You can use a damp cloth, or you can even use like a brush. I just kind of let it happen because it's going to get worn and distressed, and it's going to look how it looks. And so I don't stress about it. You can also, when it comes to ironing, you can iron it or use a hair dryer to get out creases. And I've used a piece of cotton fabric in between my iron and the canvas. It was a tip I learned on YouTube, and it works, but I'm gonna tell you why I don't love it. So again, we have 10 ounce, we have 10 different colors. It is 58 inches wide, and it's almost fully 58 inches of usable canvas because the salvage is small. We sell it in full yard, half yard, and fat quarter. Those sizes seem to be universal across what I was finding online, and it works with my patterns, so that's why those are the sizes they went with. Keep in mind that anything that we order that comes on a roll, that we have to be very careful about what sizes we cut, because
We may have to share this with you.
Barb and Marlene can't go out and cut things as we're going, so I have to, I have to pre-cut everything. I'm done. Okay.
Charlie, he goes, it's not as tacky as that time I wore hat pins to church, but it's a little sticky.
I should have figured that. So
Charlie.
one day it's flamingos, one day it's hot pants. You never know what you're gonna get here. You really, I mean,
Sorry for the interruption.
you
but I
can't ever.
Like the group.
So anyway, we have the sizes cut that we have cut for a reason. If things come on rolls, they have to be cut before they can go into the office. We don't have a place that we can just keep popping rolls on and cutting them. This isn't like at Joann Fabrics where you just ask for it and they cut it. Bolts are different. So we don't have pieces larger than 1 yard. So please don't email me and ask me if you can have 2 straight yards. I don't have that. And you're going to get whatever you order. So if you order 2 half yards, you're going to get 2 half yards. We're not going to send you a yard. We send you exactly what you ordered. And that is noted on the website. Yes.
Katie has a question.
Yes.
Did a regular foot work okay with it, or would you recommend
Yes,
Teflon?
and I haven't gotten there yet,
Oh,
but
okay.
that is on my list. That's on my pros list. So let's start with the pros and cons. My cons, I have 3, and I actually had to like force them on myself because I don't find a lot of pros to this product. I am going to say, or cons.
Cons.
I love it. I don't find a lot that I don't like about it. So one thing that I can kind of put this on both lists. You can iron directly on it. Does it break my heart? No, it's fine. Because it's fine that I can't. I'm used to that with certain things anyway. But also I am used to ironing cork. So sometimes it is weird to not just pick up your iron and put it on there. Again, I watched a full video of somebody ironing it. And I think it's weird. And she just was doing it like it was nothing. And it upset me. And I can't do it. So what I do when I iron it, and I find this probably to be a real con, is that you put a piece of fabric in between. But this is what the back of my fabric looks like. Can you see the wax that's come off?
Wax that comes off, yeah.
It's a personal feeling. I don't have scientific proof of this, but I feel like if you are going to keep ironing something with wax and transferring it onto here and a little onto your ironing surface, you're taking it off the product. So you're kind of taking away what it wants to do. So I don't really like ironing it unless I absolutely have to. And I make that call when I have like a really severe crease, and I try to just iron that crease. The wrinkles are supposed to be there. And we'll talk about how those get there and why you have to embrace it if you want to use this. And that is my next con. It's not a con for me. It's going to be a con for some of you. The wrinkles and the creases are supposed to be there. That's how it gets the distressed look. I take a piece of this and I crinkle it before I sew it. So just because it came like this in the mail, this is what I do with it before I sew it. Before I do anything, because I want it to look like that. If you don't like this, do not buy this product. It is not for you if this is going to make you crazy because you don't like wrinkles and creases and you want everything smooth. If you want it to stay looking like this, it's virtually impossible. You might get it pretty smooth. Once you start using that bag and things fold and things move, you're just going to add creases. It's gonna drive you nuts if you don't like that. So this is not for someone that wants perfection. I like this because when I look at this looks like leather. Like it has that look. Doesn't feel like leather, but it has like that distressed old jacket, old couch kind of look. Bomber jacket. Yeah. And the more you use it and the more it folds and creases, the more you get. I love that. That's the appeal of it to me. When we send it to you, you are gonna get creases. You're gonna have creases because we package it this way. We don't roll it, just like we don't roll cork, because I know the creases will come out. I'm just not gonna sit with an iron and iron it and iron it. But also, you can see like right here, there's some little scrapes. That happens when I'm cutting it. It happens on the bar that I use to cut. I cannot help that. So again, if the distressed look is not for you, this product is not for you. And that's okay. Not everything is for everyone. I avoided this because I didn't think I was gonna like it. Now I really, really like it. So that's also why I offer the fat quarter size, because maybe you wanna try it out, but you're hesitant, it's expensive, I don't know if I'm gonna like it. Buy a fat quarter. make a little pouch, make something small, and give yourself some time to see if you like it. And if it doesn't grow on you, that's okay. I don't even know how you two feel about it.
I don't know yet.
You don't know because you haven't sewed with it.
All we know is it's heavy when
It's
it
It's
stacks.
heavy,
And
yes.
when it stacks.
And that is my last con. It is a little weighty. This is like a yard, I think, right here. I had an extra yard from a previous purchase. This was all that I had left. It is kind of stiff, and it is a little bit heavy. I can tell you that I was the one that cut all of the pieces, and putting it up onto shelves, it hurt my shoulders because 25 yards at a time is a lot to lift up. So it can be a little bit awkward. I don't think that it adds weight once it's in the bag and you've cut out smaller pieces and you're sewing with it. I think they're actually a pretty nice weight. No more than cork, maybe even a little bit less, but it can be a little stiff sometimes, a little awkward, and the weather and the temperature where you are can affect it. If it's cold, it gets a little stiffer. If it's warm, it's a little bit softer. And that's something that they noted, but they did say, even if you leave it on your car on a hot day, you're not going to come out to a puddle of melted wax. But your bag might change in shape a little bit. It might, sink a little bit. If you leave it in a cold, like our cold winters, our bag might be a little bit stiffer when we come out. And it's okay. You're not going to come out and go, where is it? There's just liquid here. That would be really funny, but it won't happen. So don't worry. So those are really the only cons that I could find, because in playing with this, I just fell more and more in love with it, and I want to make everything out of it. So pros. This is literally, this is the first thing that came to my mind. This is a lazy person's dream fabric. And I tell you guys all the time, I'm lazy. I made an entire bag and I didn't need an iron. It was amazing. I didn't need marking tools. I just sewed. I cut it out and I just made it.
Katie made a comment to the effect that she is under the impression that the wax helps create better creases. That's why you don't have to iron so much. Yeah.
Yes, you are absolutely right. So I'm going to show you my samples and I'll tell you a couple things that I learned as I was making them in just a second. So again, I said that this might be a con for you, but for me it was a pro. The creases and the distressing just keep getting better. The more you use it, the more you touch it, the more that it's, used and handled and abused, it likes that. It looks better over time. Even the pieces that I had already wrinkled and started sewing with, after I got done sewing, I was turning things right side out and playing with things, it just kept looking better and better. The more wrinkles, the better. So I am pro wrinkle. I love it. I love the creases. So I feel like there's not much you can't really over abuse this. You don't have to use interfacing. And I say you don't have to, but you can. Again, going back to that laziness factor, I like iron-on interfacings. I don't use the sewing kind. Obviously, a sew-in interfacing is going to be different because you don't have to worry about how you adhere it. I do have a couple of samples here with Decor Bond and Decoville. So I ironed them on. It's definitely possible. It's not an issue if you want to. It makes it firmer. I don't love how it looks as much. I like it better without interfacing, but I guess it would depend on the project. I have small bags in front of me that I've made. If I was making something really big, I might want to put interfacing on it just to give it a little bit more body and a little bit more stability. But so far, I found that I'm fine without interfacing. I did use a piece of fleece on a flap, and I'll show you why I did that. And I have some samples here too. I have a system. I'm gonna go through it, and then I'm gonna show you a lot of stuff. Right now, you just have to listen to me. So you don't have to use interfacing, but you can if you want to. It sews smoothly, and it has minimal to no buildup. You will see in other videos and from other people that sell wax canvas that they highly suggest that you constantly clean your machine and you have to change your needle because the wax builds up. I have been sewing and I have not found much wax buildup, none on my feed dogs or on the base of the machine, a tiny, tiny bit on the needle. No more though than what I get when I use like sticky tape for zippers. So certain wax canvases might have more wax and might leave more buildup. I have not found that that has been an issue with this. So I'm really happy with the product and how it's been sewing. You're giving me that look.
Well, no, Amanda said, please show us what you made. Suspense is killing me.
No. Let me get through my pros list and then you can decide for yourself. I'm going as fast as I can. You know I talk fast anyway. So again, quick sew, you can skip the iron, skip the interfacing, you can even skip marking tools. I folded everywhere and I used a ruler that was nearby. I didn't even mark anything. And now I feel the pressure to hurry. You can mark it by folding it or scoring it. There is minimal to no fraying. This piece right here, like even the frays are kind of hard to come off because the wax keeps it on there. Would I use it raw edge? I don't know. I haven't decided that yet. Maybe, but everything I've done has been sewn into a seam. I think that's better because it's not thick, and I'll show you. I didn't really love that. And again, the selvage is super small, so when you buy a 58-inch wide piece, you get almost 58 inches of usable canvas, I almost said cork, because the selvage is really small.
Yeah.
So there's not much that you have to worry about. Yes, Marlene?
What about if you have to rip out? Does it leave holes?
I did have to rip out. It did leave some holes, but I also didn't iron or try to like fix them, so it wasn't horrible.
Okay.
But you guys want to see things, so instead of showing you my little demos, I'll show you the bags first because they're dying. Yes.
They can wait 1 second.
Oh, Barb said you have to wait. Yes.
My question is, if you do interface it, does it change the way it wrinkles?
Yes. And I'm going to show you how. And that might make it more appealing to somebody. It made it less appealing to me. So we'll look at samples first, okay? So you may have seen the sample because I think I showed this when I did the Lola XL and I said it's wax canvas, but it's not in yet. Well, now it's in. Oh, and guess what? The mandala's print is also back. So perfect timing. So this is the XL version of the Lola. I did cork on the bottom and cork on the handles, and I did the wax canvas on the top. It's not interfaced. Neither is the cork. And it has really nice structure. I do a bubble wrap in here because bags are always different when they're not filled. But this one I didn't go overboard on the wrinkling, but you can still see it. So each color I think looks a little bit different too. And this is the garnet. So I named them and I don't remember. So that's that. I think it looks really cool. And I'm not a red fan and I love this red. Like this is a red that I can get on board with. It's not too bright, it's not too orange. Like I just really, really like this red. So, and I worked in jewelry for a while and that is a true garnet color. So if you get a nice high quality garnet, in case you were wondering. This one, I don't remember if I showed you this or not, but pretend it's brand new. Because I made it a while ago when I got a very, very small sample. This is the little getaway bag. So this is the springtime cork, and then I have the begonia wax canvas on the bottom. I didn't top stitch here, and I have no idea why, but that's okay. Actually, maybe I didn't top stitch on the big one either. I don't know. But again, I didn't interface it, and this one has some really good creases. I like that. Even on a really wide bottom, it holds up really nicely. So that's that. This is what I worked on and I finished up yesterday. And I love this.
You made that one for me, didn't you?
This one, well, it has a piece of Zoe hair on it, so you're welcome to that. So this is the Emily. And I wanted to make this bag because it has the flap, it has hardware, it has an adjustable handle, and it has a zipper on the back. So I wanted to try all the stuff. So I made the entire outside out of wax canvas, no interfacing. And I did the outside first and I let it kind of sit for a day because I wanted to see if I wanted to put a lining in it, because technically I don't need to, but I wanted to see if I liked it. And I liked it, but I felt like it still needed a lining for the structure. So I just put in a regular cotton lining, and I did interface this one with Decoville because that's what I had at home. Decor bond would be fine too. So for the flap, let's talk about some of the things that I kind of learned. For the flap, I could just tell that 2 pieces was not going to be thick enough for the hardware. It needed a little something extra. I had fusible fleece at home. That's what the pattern calls for anyway. I didn't fuse it in though. I literally did not turn my iron on until I fused the 2 pieces for the lining. So I just sandwiched it in between, sewed it, and turned it right side out. So I wrinkled everything beforehand, but then I had to turn it right side out 3 times. The first time, I was having a mental day and I sewed the fleece on the wrong side. So it was on the outside. So I had to undo it. So I had to take it out. And I took it out and I was like, oh, there's holes. But I re-sewed it and it looked pretty good. It actually, the holes were not bad and I didn't iron them. I feel like I could have taken the tip of my iron and kind of fixed it, but I was being lazy and it was like 90 degrees out that day, so I didn't want to turn the iron on. And then I had to turn it right side out a third time because when I turned it right side out the second time, I had missed a spot and there was a big hole. I was having a great day. So I turned it again and then turned it again. I turned this thing 6 or 7 times and it looks great.
Looks good.
So it's not doing anything bad. I put my hardware in, I had no issues. My hardware is probably crooked. Don't judge me. I don't judge any of you. Let's see here. The pocket on the front, I didn't do any interfacing. Again, there's no interfacing on the canvas. I just sewed it right onto the front of the bag, put my flip lock on there. I sewed everything with 40 weight cotton, just like I normally do. And that is another online debate. Most people will tell you that you have to use polyester thread with this. I don't, because I don't sew with polyester thread. And just like with everything else, with the cork and with the heavy canvases, I sew everything with cotton. But a lot of people will tell you because of the durability and because of this being like a firmer product and this it needs polyester. Maybe in 5 years from now it will fall apart and I'll feel bad and I'll have to eat my words, but I use cotton in all these samples and I'm really happy with it. So just saying. And I use the 40 weight, not the 50 weight. So everything went really nicely. I did not use a Teflon foot. I used my regular foot, the 2 that I always use, my 1/4 inch and my blind hem for all my top stitching. It top stitched beautifully. It didn't snag anywhere. It didn't have like any issues on my machine. No problems whatsoever. So on the handle, I did the handle like I normally do. I folded it into 4s. So that's 4 layers, no problems. I added my hardware on and I even folded this edge under like I normally do for cotton, where I fold the edge and then fold it one more time. So there's 12 layers of canvas, went through my machine without a problem. So that is why I will always vouch for Janome machines, because my Janome was like, absolutely, let's do it. If you are having a problem, you can just fold it twice and you could, do like a little satin stitch or just sew that edge a few times. Again, it doesn't fray a lot, if any, but you might want to just secure that a little extra if you can't tuck it under. It seems to be working fine. It works just like cork. So it's moving. It's not moving super easily, which is fine, because if you have a lot of stuff in your bag, you don't want it loosening up on you. The zipper. I don't really want to show you because this is probably the worst zipper I've ever put in, because I was being super lazy. And I didn't pin because I have pinned. I pinned a couple of spots on here that you probably can't tell. Again, you're putting a hole in something, but I didn't feel like it was a big deal. I wouldn't do it unless I had to. I wouldn't highly advise using pins. Clips are better. But I put the zipper in and I used wax canvas for the inside of the pocket too, because I just wanted to see what would happen. It went through just fine. And here's the awesome part. I didn't have to make any marks. I just took my ruler, measured down, folded it, creased it. Brought it down, folded it, creased the edges. And then I didn't use tape for the zipper, and I didn't use pins. I just kind of held it with my hands. Not my best move. I probably should have used a couple of clips. It's like really cockeyed here, but whatever, it's fine. I'm not perfect. There, you know the big secret now. So it sewed really nicely, and even with the pocket being wax canvas, like that's a nice stiff pocket. But if you put anything in there that leaks, at least you have like a little extra time. Because how many times have you put things in your bag and then you went, oh no, it leaked everywhere.
Katie wants to know, is it the same needle as sewing cork?
Yes. Yep. So I think I already had in like a size 90-14, and I just, when I test things, I don't always check, but I had a packet next to the machine that was 90-14, so I'm fairly confident that's what I had just put in, and whatever needle was in there, it sewed really nicely. So it was either an 80 or a 90, but I'm pretty sure it was a 90. So again, this has nothing in it, so of course it's kind of like a little smushy, but it doesn't have anything in it. But isn't it cute?
It is very cute.
So in my experimenting, I also did some little scraps here. So let's see. I see here. So we'll just start with handles, just because. So I folded this handle sample 4 times, just like I do with regular cotton. And I folded this one 2 times like I do with cork. The 2 times is kind of flimsy. I'm not super thrilled with it. This, I think, has a really nice structure. It feels like interface cotton. So wouldn't you say? Kind of feels like.
Definitely. Yeah,
So
that one is too flimsy.
this is just
Yeah.
This weight canvas, it wasn't quite working. So I folded it and treated it like cotton. There's different areas where I'm gonna treat it like cotton. It's probably like majority of the time, and a couple of areas where I might treat it like cork. More like cork as far as trying not to pin it, trying not to make holes, but knowing that I can kind of cover them up, and not changing my foot. This I treat like interface cotton, fold it 4 times, put it in the seam allowance, you know, do all that kind of good stuff. So that was my experiment with handles. I did that before I made the Emily because I wanted to know how I wanted to approach that. One other thing I really like about it is because of the difference in width versus your regular cotton, if you have a pattern that, let's say, calls for a yard of cotton for an outside of a bag, you're actually gonna need less, because cotton is 44 inches and you usually get 40 to 42 inches of usable cotton. This is 58 inches, so even if you got 50 on the conservative side, which you're gonna get a lot more than that, you're getting 10 to 12 plus inches of extra, so you can cut more pieces. So this Emily, I think the pattern calls for 3/4 of a yard, or 7/8 of a yard cotton. I think I used 2/3 of a yard of the wax canvas, and I had a little bit left over. So, and that was including the handle. So let's see what I did here. Okay, so I ironed a few pieces to show you, and I will take pictures of these in case they don't show up well on camera, but I marked each of them. So this one right here, I wrinkled, and then I took it to the ironing board and I used my cloth, and you can see it's almost completely smoothed out. Some of the little wrinkles, like right here, it doesn't look the same. So it kind of took those away. This had a thick, heavy crease in it. So there's the crease right there. This is what it looked like before I ironed. That's the crease after. So it pretty much went away, and then once I crinkle this, I don't think you're gonna notice it at all. This, you're gonna notice a straight line through it even before you do any of the creasing. So I very gently use the iron, but I don't know if you can see that. Can you see the tip of the iron?
Yes.
Because that's where the wax was absorbing off. So even though I was careful, you can still see a mark. I don't think it's gonna be an issue once I crinkle this up, but you can still see it. So just be cautious with the iron. Now these, I interfaced, and I wrinkled them after because I was gonna iron them anyway. So this has no interfacing, okay? So you can see it's got some body, but it's still really flexible. I can keep on. I love doing this. It just makes me happy because you don't usually treat fabric that way. You don't buy fabric and then you know, rough it up. You keep smoothing and smoothing and smoothing. Sometimes Barb loses her mind when she gets to the end of a bolt and has to send you a piece of wrinkled fabric. It makes her crazy. Well, this, we want it to look like this, so it's awesome. It doesn't come pre-wrinkled. You get to take out your own aggressions. This has no interfacing. This has decor bond. Now you have to iron it from the interfacing side, which I have been telling you for years not to do, but you have to. So you can see my decor bond's a little bit wrinkled, but my wrinkles are not great. So even when you really wrinkle it, I don't know. I don't like it as much. It's distressed, but it's, I don't know, it's just stressed. It's not
like wrong wrinkles.
deep. Yeah, it's just, it kind of just,
It's
they're
like the
okay.
kind of wrinkles you don't want.
Yes, that's what it is. It looks like it's wrinkled, but not because it's a distressed wrinkle. It's just kind of like, oh, you didn't iron it well. And then I also did the Decoville. This makes it pretty stiff. This is the Decoville Light. Again, it doesn't wrinkle the same. It's mildly distressed.
Katie says, who needs a stress ball when you get wax cat?
Exactly. You order that when you're stressed out and then just squeeze the living Jesus out of it.
Looks
So
like
it's
you're
great.
milking a cow. The way you were.
Or you milk a cow. Yeah, that's
Nancy
fine.
says she uses a hairdryer to get creases out. that
Yes,
she really
and
doesn't want.
I have not used one, but I have watched other people use it, and you can absolutely use a hairdryer. I, again, was going to bring that here today, but I'm not prepared. I even typed notes, and I'm still not prepared.
No
Well,
curling
one more
iron.
question.
No curling iron.
Did you try steaming it without ironing it?
I did not.
Uh-huh.
I will try that,
That'll be
though.
your next test.
That will be my next test. And these pieces right here, the gray ones, let's see. These are both ironed. I'm not really loving this. So this is the back side. Can you see how it's a different color?
Yeah.
It's, because you can see where the wax came off.
Mm-hmm.
So does it make a big difference once it's like kind of wrinkled? No, but This is why I feel like the iron is just not the best idea around it. Use it at your discretion as little as you have to. And then this one, again, ironed, not ironed. You can see, and you even can feel a little bit of a difference. Like it just feels a little bit rougher. I can feel it anyway. Can't you feel it when it's ironed?
Yes.
Because the wax is not
gone.
even now.
Yeah.
I've taken it out
Yeah.
of some of the spaces. And I mean, look at this piece of fabric. This was not a lot of ironing. I ironed this little, anything in here that got ironed. These little tiny pieces, so let's see,
Yeah, looks like a lot of
6,
wax.
and that's a lot of wax that came off. So that's just my thing. As far as tools, I have tried a couple of these out, and it all depends on my level of laziness for that day. So I have this little clover tool that I've used. This is kind of reminds me of something you would use for scrapbooking, but it's not marketed for that. They call this the 2-point turner tool. So this is for like turning curves. It seems a little sharp for curves to me, but I use this for a couple of spots because there's a nice sharp edge here. So if you want to mark that way. I also bought this, which is, there was no name on this, was there? It's a Teflon pencil bone folder. So it has like a little flat edge and then a pencil edge. You can use that to mark too. And I bought this little brayer, which is marketed for quilting and wallpaper.
It's a wallpaper.
And wallpaper. It's just a little wooden brayer, so if you want to, you know, use that to make your little creases, you can do that as well. This one, let's see, this was $6.67 on Amazon. This was $9.99 and this was $6.99. So not a lot of expensive tools if you want those for you know, your wax canvas adventures. I bought them, I use them a little bit, but I've been using my fingers and rulers more than anything else. So I think that was everything. And I will definitely think of more things as soon as we're done, because that's what always happens. I'm like, oh, I forgot to tell them that. So I can't think of anything right now,
I think we
but
got
I'm
all the questions,
going to
too.
process for a second. And Barb's going to check and see if there's any more questions, just in case.
Somebody did wonder, which I don't know if you'd know yet, what will happen to the wax canvas over time? Will it lose its structure?
I have not found that out personally because I have not been carrying these bags, but from the research I've done and what I've read, the answer is no. It's still going to keep its structure. It might get a little bit softer and more creased, but it's still going to keep its structure. That is what I have been reading universally and everywhere that I've been looking. I do not know offhand because I have not been carrying these bags, but I would like to start carrying one just to kind of see what happens and see how it goes. Like this one, from being at home and then in my car, it's got a couple of pieces of dog hair and a little bit of fuzz, but nothing major. It seems okay. So I might throw it in my hot car and leave it there for a
There
little
you
while
go.
and see what
See what it
happens.
looks like by Monday.
See what it looks like by Monday. And then in the winter time when it's like, and it's all stiff. So
Is it going to crack and break apart into pieces like ice?
like ice, you know, so we don't know.
All of a sudden, all your
Wax
stuff is
canvas is a solid, not a liquid, just so that we're clear on that. It's not going to freeze in ice cubes. It's not going to melt into a puddle. And if it does, please send me pictures because I need to see that for a fact. Was that everything? Did we get any more questions? Anything else that
Nothing
I've
more.
missed?
I don't think I missed anything.
Okay, just a quick reminder before we call it a day. If you are interested in signing up for any of the retreats, virtual or in person, they are getting full and we are getting very limited on space, especially the July virtual because it's coming up in a few weeks. Goodie bags are going out next week. And the October in-person is almost maxed out. So if you're thinking about it, don't hesitate too much longer. I don't want you to lose your opportunity.
Come join the party.
The October retreat is different from the January and March because it's at a different venue. We do not book your rooms for you. You have to do that yourself. That is why there's no secondary pay your balance on the website. You have to take care of that on your own. That's how that hotel chooses to do it. All of the information is on there, and if it's unclear in any way, just shoot me an email and I can help you. We have just a few spots left in that one, and so definitely if you're interested. Again, you don't have to sew bags all weekend. I'm going to. They're not. Some people are. Some people aren't. We just want to we want to make an attempt at being normal, and I'm not good at normal, but I'm gonna try.
Not even on a good
You
day.
know, I mean,
You guys are in
are
for a
you?
farm.
Can you really say that you're normal?
No,
Exactly.
no,
I cannot.
But this is our attempt at a normal person's thing. Barb is not. She's so full of it. So we just want to get back into you know, the way that things used to be, and where we all get to gather and eat food and make stupid jokes. So that's what we're
There you
looking
go.
forward to. So if you want to come and sew clothing, I don't care. That's a weird thing to do, but it's up to you. I don't
I've had
judge.
one lady that comes and makes pajamas for her grandchildren all the time.
Pajamas, that's fine. You
Yeah.
want to come and sew flamingo costumes for plastic flamingo? Like, I don't care. If you want to just come and eat food and stare at all of us for 3 days, that's your choice. I don't care.
Exactly.
But we just want, you know, we just want you to come, and I just want to remind you, because it is every day there's another name getting added on there, and I'm like, oh, we're getting kind of close. So don't hesitate, and tell your friends that aren't on Facebook that are like, I don't want to make bags. You don't have to make bags.
No.
I might sway you by the end of the weekend.
That's
It's
possible.
You might get a goodie bag with something in it, and you might feel obligated to make it. I don't know I don't know how you feel, but you know, we're gonna be there. My mom might even make a guest appearance. She
Oh,
said
my
she
goodness.
might. I'm trying to weasel my stepfather into helping me bring in our pop-up shop, because we don't want to do it. He'll do it. So he'll do the heavy lifting. And I might even see if I can get my husband, or maybe Mucho Guapo, to come
Oh,
up.
Mucho
You
Guapo.
know, I mean, who knows?
Oh,
So that's that. Oh, and the end of October, we are going, not we, my mom and I, she's not here. We're going to Houston. We're going to go check out Quilt Festival. So if you are in that area, or you're going to Quilt Festival, let me know and we can say hi. And I will be doing a Facebook Live from there. And I'm mentioning this because July is halfway over.
yes, it is.
Oh my, I can't even
gosh.
take it. I can't even take it. And I can tell that summer's moving towards the last part, because it's not bright and sunny when I wake up at 5 a.m. anymore. It's getting a little bit darker. And I'm like, oh, the days are already getting shorter.
Yes. Uh-huh.
But it's okay. So that's it. I think I've covered everything that I can think of. If you need me, I'll be in that room. I'm never coming out again. And I don't know what we're talking about next week, but we will be here. So have a great weekend. Be nice to people. Don't send me mean emails, and enjoy yourselves.
Have a great weekend,
Bye.
guys. Bye.